Hi friends, Miss Megan coming to you from the Children's Museum of the Lone Country in downtown Charleston, South Carolina. What I thought we'd do today is some more science. So I noticed the last 2 days here in Charleston we had a little bit of rain. What I thought we would do is talk about how and why and when we get rain based on the water cycle. So today we're going to talk about the water cycle. And first thing I want to do is walk you through it, and then at the end we're going to be able to make a model or an example of our very own water cycle that we can watch happen. You'll see I have my water cycle right here, and you're going to get to make one by the end of this video. So first we're going to talk about the water cycle, and then I will show you how to make your very own water cycle at home for you to observe. So first I want to talk about the water cycle. So I have a picture here, okay? And we all know what this is, this big, bright, beautiful sun that's very far away and very hot, but very important to us and the water cycle. And what happens is this warm sun shines down on this big body of water. And what happens is that hot sun heats up that warm body of water, and the water starts to break up into these tiny, 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 tiny little bubbles, and it starts to rise. Okay? These tiny little droplets of water start to rise. And it looks like that in these wiggly arrows up. So I'm going to teach you 3 big fancy science words. Number 1, when those little droplets are rising up, that's called evaporation. Can you say evaporation? Try it with me. Evaporation. Once it's evaporated, it forms these white fluffy things. Those white fluffy things. Does anybody know what those are called? That's right, those are clouds. You see beautiful white fluffy clouds probably a lot. Did you ever lay back and look at the shapes and think maybe you've seen a bunny? Or how about, have you ever seen a flower? Did you notice the clouds are moving? Well, big fancy science word number 2 is condensation. Can you say condensation? Try it with me. Condensation. That's the big fancy science word for when the water accumulates together and we have clouds. Now I wanted to show you something to kind of give you an idea what clouds are. I have some water here and just a bowl to catch my stuff. But have you ever seen one of these? Maybe somebody at home uses it to wash or to clean. What's a sponge? And the reason Miss Megan pulls out a sponge when we talk about the water cycle is because those white fluffy clouds, condensation, act a lot like this sponge. And what happens is that cloud will hold some water. It's going to hold some more water. It's going to hold some more water. It's going to hold some more water. More water? More water? More water? What's cool is the clouds act a lot like this sponge. They hold so much water till they're so full that they can't hold anymore. And then that's when, once these clouds are so full of water they can't hold anymore, then it starts to come down. And that big fancy science word is precipitation. Can you say precipitation? Try with me. Precipitation. A lot of times, most precipitation we see here is rain. Now where Miss Megan grew up, a lot of times that precipitation would come down on these white, big, fluffy things, and it was so cold. Do you know what that is? That's snow. Snow is another type of precipitation. So, what happens is evaporation, say evaporation. condensation. Can you say condensation? And precipitation. Precipitation. So as you notice, as I follow along these arrows, I'm making a shape with my hand. Do you know what shape that is? Can you tell me? That's right. We're actually making a circle. What's cool about the water cycle is the water never goes away. It just changes forms. And the water helps all this lovely green stuff grow. So that's the water cycle. But now what I want to do is give you something you can do at home so that you can observe the water cycle happening in front of you. We're just going to need a few things. You'll need a Ziploc baggie. You'll need some markers. You'll need some soil and some water, because we're doing the water cycle, so you need water. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your baggie and you're going to draw some things on it like we just talked about. So I might get a blue marker for my raindrops. I might get a gray marker for those clouds. And some more water on the bottom. And maybe a pretty red flower. I wanted to show you this water cycle because I did this one in all black with a permanent marker. I drew some things we talked about, like the sun and some clouds, that's condensation, and some precipitation. Now, what we're going to do is make our water cycle. Now this one, it's a little light to see, that's why I wanted to show you the dark one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour some soil into our cup. If you make a mess, that's okay. But adults, make sure our kids are putting the soil in and doing the drawing because they can do it. So after you have a little bit of soil, you're going to put it on the bottom of your bag. Then you're just going to pour some water in. I like to put a little air in so that my bag has some width and you can hang. And that's it. Then all you're going to do is take a piece of tape and you're going to want to hang your water cycle in a sunny spot on a window, maybe your kitchen, maybe your front door, somewhere that hot sun's going to be able to help our water cycle. And again, I wanted to show you this one because as you can see, this one was outside on my front window and it was getting nice, lots of sun. And what happened is the water starts on the bottom, but it actually evaporated up into the top. And so there's actually condensation happening in my bag. And if you tap it, you can see that water come down. There's a raindrop. So you're able to make your very own water cycle in a bag. Remember, first it has to evaporate, then it condensates, then it precipitates. Hopefully you have the things to make this water cycle in a bag. It's pretty easy. Again, don't forget, please share with us all the fun things you're doing at home because we really, really miss you and we can't wait to see you at the museum again soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming to play.